Yo, what's up? It's a new day, new opportunities, another day to be better than the day before. And lastly, it is an opportunity for us to break some bad habits. Let's start this show. Yo, what up, my people? What up, my kings, my queens, my warriors? Welcome to another episode of Move Mountains and Break Those Barriers. This is season 1, episode 6, and I am Thomas Davis, all the way from the DMV. Yes, I did some signs, and no, they're not gang signs. I'm so excited to be on this show tonight. Shout out to the shout out to the I can't say Green Bay Packers, but y'all know the other team. I don't want to make no one mad and they log off this show. So just shout out to the NFL. Shout out to everyone. I'm so glad that you're here. Please do me a favor. Let's like and share this broadcast. Let's get our people in. Let us know that you're here. Let us know where you repping from. If you're repping from the DMV, let me know that you're here. If you're repping from the East Coast, the West Coast, all of the coasts, shout us out and let us know that you're here. I just want to just come on and say again, thank you so much. It is Sunday, January the 24th, 2021. I feel like we just entered a brand new year, but guess what? We're going to keep moving and we're going to keep grooving. Shout out to my producer in the back, Miss Jasmine. She is doing her job. She's making us look good. I can't do this without her. Shout out to my guests. Shout out to my previous guests. Shout out to our listening audience. We are so thankful that you join us every single time that we're on. Hello, Mom. My mother is representing from Eden, North Carolina. Shout out to you, Mom, and I love you. All right. So this show is only designed for this, y'all. We just want to just bring some awareness about how we can keep moving those mountains and breaking those barriers. We just here to let you know that you're not in this thing alone. There are people like myself, like our guests, that are going through different things, and we want to bring awareness to the forefront. It is okay to share things. It is okay to not be okay. And most of all, it is okay to be who you are. So I just want to just definitely come on again and say thank you. It's been an overwhelming, humbling opportunity to serve and to give back to my people, your people, together. All right. Okay. So this past week, we celebrated a lot of history. A lot of history has taken place all over the world and within our nation's capital. But we also hope that you had an opportunity to do some service, whether it was virtually, whether it was social distancing on Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. We celebrated that as well this week. And I just definitely, what up, Rashida from Austin, Texas? Thank you so much for chiming in. Shout you out as well. We always want to make sure that we are doing the work, whether it's advocating, whether it's speaking up, whether it's taking some time out of our schedule to give back because people have poured into us, and let's pour it back into other people as well. There's a quote by Dr. King that I want to say, and I want to just say this as we go into our show this evening. Dr. King says this: faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. I'm going to say this one more time. Faith is taking the first step even when you do not see the whole staircase. Sometimes we got to take a step. Sometimes we got to step out and not know what's going to happen. Sometimes we got to take that step to break those habits, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight. But before we go into the show, I want to always do a pause for the cause. And that's where I just do some gratitude. As I stated before, I thank each and every one of you all for being on. I love you all. You all are my rock. You all are my support. You all are everything to me, and I cannot do this without you. Second of all, I want to just say shout out to our first responders. Shout out to our National Guards. Shout out to the MPD, police officers who kept everything smooth and running on Wednesday. Shout out to everyone that continues to strive in these times of that we don't know what's going on. And lastly, I want to take a quick pause to celebrate and acknowledge and pay respect to the lives lost during COVID, during any other unfortunate activity that has taken place. I want to do a quick pause to recognize and pay homage to those who lost their battles in life. Let's take a quick break and pause. Thank you so much. We have to understand that in life, we have to show gratitude. We have to show grace. And lastly, we have to be respectful and be respectful for those, because at the end of the day, it could be us. All right. So now I'm going to do something different. This is something that I wanted to start off in 2020 doing, and I'm going to do something that's going to cause Thomas spins. Every now and then, I think about how we can continue to bring this show to life. I think about ways that we could keep you all engaged, because we don't want you all feeling bored. We want you guys to chime in, talk to us, give us feedback, let us know that you're here. So we're going to start off with something like this, and be prepared for some music to be coming up very shortly on future shows, because we want this to be right and tight. All right. Welcome to another night of new direction, and leaving this show with an understanding of the importance of doing some much needed cleaning up. We got to clean our lives, y'all. We got to clean. We got to get rid of some clutter. We got to get rid of all of that in order for us to break those habits. But before we go into that, let's talk about this. I'm a country boy, y'all. Believe it or not, I'm from Danville, Virginia. Shout out to VA. I love where I come from. I love my family. I love my friends. I love my upbringing. But I used to go to church. And sometimes when you're young, you in church, and you hear like the little choir singing certain things, and you get so caught up in the tempo and the beat that you really don't listen to the words. But there was a song that was that the male chorus used to always sing, and it was something like this: I have to clean up what I messed up, starting my life over again. Shout out to our songwriters, shout out to our poets, our writers, because at the end of the day, these are songs that can keep us motivated. I'm starting my life over again. How many of us need to clean some things that we messed up? I see you, Wendy. Yeah. How many of us need to clean up some things in our life? As that, we need to do that and keep things moving. How many of us need a tune-up? I know I do. How many of us need a fresh start? But guess what? There's also another song that I listen to on a daily basis. And those who know me know what I am talking about. I love this group. It's back in the 80s, back in the 90s, and it's this group called Outkast. And the song that I listen to is called Liberation. I listen to that song daily. Those who know me know I listen to this song daily. But there is a line that I want to bring to our listening ears. I have a choice to be who you want to be. It's left up to me, and my mama and them told me. Who's telling you to break those habits? Who is telling you to try something new? My favorite line of this song is shake that load off, shake that load off. Yeah, I know I can't sing, but I am going to sing. Shake that load off. We got to learn how to shake out self-doubt. We got to learn how to shake off insecurities. We got to learn how to shake off unemployment. your haters, your fakers, you name it. Shake that stuff off. And let's take that stanza now and make it present tense. I will have the choice to be who you and I want to be. It's left up to me, and I will go back and tell my mama and them. Because sometimes we got to say some things to ourselves. Sometimes we got to make sure that we believe it. And guess what? Don't be fooled by this. Don't let nobody say, oh, I don't need nobody to affirm me. I'm good. I'm good. They are lying. Everyone needs affirmations. I'm going to give you some examples. For my churchgoers, when you go into church, what do the pastor say? Can I get an amen? What do? Amen, pastor. Preach, bishop. When we go to poetry slams, and after we hear the poet drop their spoken word, what do? We snap. I see you, Elizabeth. What do? We snap. And what about our hype men? When we up in the clubs, and I know we can't wait to get out of COVID so we can go back, because y'all going to be doing some busted challenges in the club. I already know. It is what it is. We going to be ready for y'all. But when you are in the club and you see the hype man, throw your hands in the air. What are they doing? They are asking for affirmations. We want to know that that you are paying attention. I want to make sure that you know that you are with me. So never allow anyone to say, oh, I don't need no one to affirm me. Life happens. Situations happens. We happen. It may be your heart. It may be the number in your bank account that says you have nothing. But guess what, y'all? We have the opportunity to make deposits and take that barrier that's in the red and move it and transition it to the green. How many of y'all have had some negative bank accounts? I know I have, but guess what? We got to do what we got to do to transition it to the green. We at times struggle with one or the other, joyful or being sad, broken or healed, angry or hurt, overeating or not eating enough, overspending or going without, and lastly, being stuck in a rut or not letting go. Guess what? We're going to help you tonight. Push through. You have the opportunity to change your narrative. Change your narrative. You do not need a degree or accolade to change who you are. So we're going to go in and talk about some habits, right? Habits are as follows. We need, in order for us to produce good habits, we need to have some harmony, harmonious, have some harmony with one another, be in sync with yourself. Secondly, we need to affirm affirmations, affirm that I got this. Davis, you can do this show. You look good. You got this going for you. B, we need to have some balance, work, life, professional balance. We need balance. I, inner peace. Because if we don't feel good about ourselves on the inside, it's not going to look good on the outside. Transformation, y'all. We got to transform ourselves. We got to make ourselves better in 2021. This is the year we win. You're going to win. I'm going to win. Just like they say, you get a car, you get a car. All of us are in that mode of transformation. And if not, we're going to help you. And lastly, succeed. Is nothing like feeling a sense of success. When you make it, when you tie your shoe, when you take your bank account from the red to the positive, to the green. So keep that fire burning. Failure is not an option. Keep climbing up those steps. I told y'all we are going to help you tonight. All right. We want you all to also do this for us. If you would like to receive notifications, positive words, motivational, promotional activities, sales, text talk TLK to 888-518-4220. Again, 888-518-4220. Text TLK20 to that number, and we will make sure that we keep you updated with what's going on. All right. Without further ado, I'm banging on my table. We are going to introduce to you our subject. Out with the old, in with the blank. Our guest is going to finish that sentence, whatever it is. I don't know. I did not ask. This is not scripted. We are going as we come. All right. So for me is out with the old, in with the things that are destined for me. That is mine. That is mine. So we're going to use some hashtags. Hashtag vision. Hashtag good habits. Hashtag me. Hashtag level up. Hashtag better me. Whatever you want to hashtag, blow the chat up. I see you, David Scott. I see you, Elizabeth. We want to rock this thing out. So let's bring in our first guest. Our first guest is going to come on, and she is going to talk about herself. She's going to give you a little bit of energy. Well, let me tell y'all this first. We got some beautiful women in the house tonight. So you might want to like and share this. You may want to like and share this post, this show as well. We have some beautiful women in the house tonight. So my first guest is Miss Jasmine Norris. Miss Jasmine is from the DMV. She's a special education teacher. She works in the public school system. She is phenomenal. And lastly, when I read her bio and I asked her to send me something that she will want me to say about her, and this is what she said, and I'm going to read it word for word. She has a motto that she lives by, and her motto is, she lives by this. She believed she could, so she did. Wow. So without further ado, Miss Jasmine Norris is going to join us tonight. What up, Miss Jazz? What up? What up?
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you.
I love to see you tonight. You looking good. You looking good over there.
Thank you.
Calvin says, hashtag I got this. Lorenzo Smith said, bust down that self-doubt. Miss Rhonda Taylor says, staying steady. These hashtags are coming through tonight. So we thank you all for sharing these hashtags with us. Thank you so much. So how you doing?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm blessed.
Are you ready for tonight?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready to talk about some habits?
I'm a work in progress, so I'm going to be real.
All right, let's do this. All right. So the next young lady I want to bring on, she is a great friend of mine. She is a phenomenal lady. I watched her from our Dead River High School / GW Danville, Virginia days. We ain't gonna talk about the house parties, Adina, because my mom is watching tonight. So be quiet on that. But this is a young lady that I have watched grow. She has done a lot of things. She's very vocal. She's very passionate. She is a woman's woman. And she's just who she is. And the thing about her that I always like that she will always say, it's going to be one thing or the other. Either you're going to like me or you're not. So let's bring on Miss Adina. Hey, Dina.
Hey.
What's up?
How are you?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
No complaints.
Y'all ladies are killing it tonight. Look at you. Look at y'all. Already showing up. Are you ready for tonight?
I am.
Okay. So let's keep this going. Now comes the brothers. I know our brothers in the back like, yo, what about me? But we got to be respectful. And I was always raised ladies first. So we're going to bring on Mr. Sean Damil Betts. Sean is a great friend of mine as well. This brother is doing his thing. He's a chef. He's an educator. He's an advocator. He does what he is doing his thing. So I want to bring on real quickly Sean Betts. What up, Sean?
What's up, everybody?
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I can't follow up the intro. I need the intro every time I go. Anytime I go anywhere, I need that. I need that same one.
Are you ready for tonight?
Oh, I'm absolutely ready.
Oh, good.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Well, let's bring on Justin. Justin Leach is a brother. He is doing his thing as well. He's on his own business. He did his workshop last Friday on branding with our youth and young adults. How do we conduct ourselves on social media? Without further ado, let's bring on Justin Leach. What up, Justin?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm living. I'm blessed. How you doing?
I'm good. Are you ready for tonight?
I've been ready. Let's go.
All right, and let me bring on my frat brother, Mr. Terrence Tufts. He is originally from Cleveland, but now living in Austin, Texas. Mr. Terrence, come on in the house. Come on in the house. What up, Terrence?
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Good, good. You all right, brother?
I'm chilling, man. Ice cold, you know what I mean?
Ice cold. Let's do it. Don't say nothing, Sean. Don't say nothing. Hey, Jazz, first fam.
Hey!
All right, y'all. All right, y'all. So we're going to jump right into this. And the first question that I do want to start with is with Adina. And I want you, Miss Adina, to share with us, how do you define habits?
Let's see. I define habits by something that you do constantly that builds who you are, whether that's in a good way or a bad way, that just comes a part of your life, your lifestyle.
Okay, good. Adopting it. Adoption is great. We gotta adopt what we want to believe and what we want to see happen. I love that definition. Jasmine, how would you define habits?
I would define habits as practices that you're learning from your experiences and your exposure, or anything that you were intentionally taught.
Mm-hmm.
They're regularly used, incorporated in your life. Some are helpful, some are less helpful. And all of them are, whether they're helpful or not helpful, very hard to change or give up without, like you said, affirmation or the inner peace.
Right. Good. I love that. I love that. Shout out to Martinez Sellers. He's watching tonight. What up, brother? I miss you. We got to catch up real soon. All right, Terrence, what is your definition of habits?
I define habits as either conscious or unconscious set of repetitive behaviors, whether it's to control anxiety or to, I think like Adina said, to better oneself, depending on the habit itself.
Good, good. I love that. I love that. Trust me, y'all. We going somewhere. We building the foundation. Sean, talk to me, brother.
Just to piggyback off of what everybody said already, was great answers. I say habits are choices or decisions that we make intentionally or unintentionally that can either better us or help us or deter us from our ultimate goal at the end.
Love it. Love it. And Justin.
For me, just like everyone said, it's things that build character. There are some things that are good, some things that are bad as far as habits go, but it's something that you can also change, whether it's when you have a bad habit, it's like, okay, what do I need to do to stop that from happening? What can I do? Better habits to make my life a little easier as I go forward.
Love it. Love it. So there's a comment on my other page that says habits equals routines. And some habits can be good or bad. And I'm glad that this came up because that was the next question. I know for me, if I'm honest, y'all, I first started off in this pandemic picking up bad habits, if I'm honest. I sat in the crib, I'll do my Zoom, but then I'll find myself sitting at the table eating. And once I would start eating, y'all know what would happen. Right. So this face became to be this face. And so I had to realize, I'm like, yo, I got to do something about that. Okay, June Hall, I see you. She said, okay, Sean, Wendy said my change is on the way. I love that. So I had to understand for me that I had to break some of those bad habits. And another habit that I had was that I would sleep longer. So then when I get up, the day is gone and I won't get my task completed. So my question to you, Sean, is this. What are some bad habits and can you provide some examples?
I can provide too many examples. So I would say, like, depending on your lifestyle and what you consider your a habit or a good habit or not, I think for me personally, a lot of my bad habits was like the way I ate, just the way I wasn't exercising, like the choices I was making to be around a certain crowd, and I knew
Mhm.
that's something I shouldn't be doing. How I broke them, I believe that was the next part, or like just continue about mine. How I broke them, um, you you literally gotta face it. Like you gotta be
Right.
real with yourself and know that, like, all right, like you're either going to adjust it or you're gonna keep going down this pattern. And which one do you want?
Right. Love it. Love it. All right. Thank you for sharing that. My next guest, Miss Jasmine. What are some bad habits? And give us some examples.
So I think that bad habits, period, are ones that cause confusion, drama.
Mm.
They feel draining. They feel unnecessary. They cause turmoil in your personal relationships, whether it be like personal or work related. Some bad habits that I have are just like sometimes I look at the worst in every situation before it actually happens. It's like
Right.
that's just me. Making yourself available to people who are toxic to you. That's a big one.
Ooh.
And comparing yourself to others because you don't know anyone's real big story. They just show you what you want to see.
Mm.
Procrastination, limiting yourself and second guessing yourself. Those are some bad ones.
I love the words that you use: procrastination, the messiness, and the drama. I love that because we got to understand sometimes in life we pick up habits that we are connected to. And we don't talk about that a lot. Sometimes our connections lead to us to us developing those habits and picking up things that we don't realize that we're actually picking up. So thank you so much, Jasmine. Adina, let me know. Let me know.
Is this PG? What kind of habits? I think for the most part, like, most people picked up the habit of just overeating. I think it was stress eating when the pandemic started, because everything was so uncertain. Not exercising as much was a bad habit of mine that I'm paying for dearly now. Toxic people are a very, very bad habit, and they're a very bad habit to break. I'm still working on that one as well. I think that would be it, really. Just
Okay.
allowing myself to be in positions that I know I'm going to question after I've participated in.
Gotcha. Love it. Love it. Trisha says bad habits are most present during stress and or boredom. How many of us, for our single folk, how many of us get bored and you pick up that phone and you like, should I or should I not? It has happened, right? Ooh. Terrence, talk to us, brother.
All right. So, question is like, what are bad habits? If I'm not
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bad habits are usually, how I just define them as like kind of like the repetitive behaviors, but they're used to cope with some kind of loss or grief or anxiety, and they end up causing one to either regress or to end up with less than when they started the habit. So, for example, if somebody turns to alcohol or alcoholism, and it becomes a continuous episodic behavior, next thing you know, like their health starts to fade. Their liver is probably one of the first things to go. Their has like a ripple effect on maybe their job, their social life, their spousal life that applies, their family life, and so on and so forth.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Justin.
How much time you got?
Let it go. Let it go.
Now, I mean, for me, my definition of bad habits is it's like an addiction you can't break. Because once you've done it one time, it becomes addictive. It's like, okay, procrastination. I'm not even gonna lie, that's my biggest thing. I procrastinate something serious, and it's a habit that I'm trying my best to break, like as we speak. I think for me, that me working on that, and then on like you said, through the pandemic, there was a lot of things that I wasn't doing, as far as like exercising. So that's another bad habit I'm trying to break. So,
right.
Because it became addictive as far as not having anything to do and not doing anything, which there's a big difference. And I just basically sat and didn't really do anything. So I'm kind of paying for it right now, but it's okay. I can break that addiction of that bad habit and create a new one, which will be good for me, which will put me on that road to being more healthier and taking better care of myself. Because I'm about to be 35 tomorrow, so I mean I can't continue these bad habits going forward.
Right. And happy early birthday, sir. Thank you for joining us on your birthday eve, man. Thank you, brother. So Justin put a comment. So Michael put a comment in the chat, and I want to bring this up. Habits are always present, but it depends on if you allow yourself to open up that door. And I do agree with that, Michael. We all have habits, and we all have things that are always in front of us, but it goes back to us to make that decision if we're going to open that door or walk into it or not. So thank you so much for sharing, Justin. To our listening audience, if you want to chime in and drop some comments in here, we definitely want to hear from you. Thank you all for posting in here. We are loving this. All right, so I just kind of want to stay here for a minute. Jasmine, you brought up a good word earlier, procrastination. Can you give us some examples of how procrastination can lead to us having some bad habits?
Oh, definitely. I'm not a procrastinator, but I know people who procrastinate, and I often have to help them. It causes a lot of unnecessary stress. You may not perform at your best, which leads to feeling insecure about whatever you're presenting. And oftentimes in a professional environment, it may make people look at you differently because if you're supposed to be getting something done and you wait to the very last minute, now you're bothering other people for things that you should have already asked them for weeks ago. So that's how I see it. It affects your relationship with coworkers, with people in your personal life. It creates unnecessary stress, and you just don't perform your best, which isn't good. Isn't a good look on you and whatever profession that you may be in.
I love that. Procrastination equals performance. If you procrastinate, your performance may not work in your best interest. There's a question that I want Sean to tackle, and it's by Miss Wendy. Wendy asked this question: how do you break bad habits? Because my mind tells me to do better, but how do I make my body do what my mind says? Then I want Terrence and Adina to answer this question as well.
So that is very interesting, right? So bad habits are I put them on a timeline. So people always say it takes like 21 days to break that habit when actually it takes 66. So you have to, I would say, put yourself on a trajectory, and during that 66 days, allow yourself to give yourself like a celebration at day 21 and day 20 and day 42, and then or whatever days in between. You're going to have to really train your mind to literally keep going, and your body is just going to have to fall in line. Like you got to just keep pushing through, and it's going to be hard, but you have to face that barrier and jump over that and allow yourself to truly keep going and ask yourself, like, what's going to happen once I get over that barrier? Is it going to be worth it? And 9 times out of 10, it will be.
So if I hear you correctly, bro, it's all about the mindset.
Wholeheartedly. Once you get your mind free, everything else will follow.
All right, free your mind. The rest will follow. Okay, sorry, y'all. It's not a concert. All right, my lovely queen, Adina, can you tackle this question?
Just piggybacking off what he said, I think a lot of it has to do with ego. I think a lot of times we are so kind of, I don't want to say obsessed with ourselves, but I think a lot of times it's hard to break our habits because our egos are bigger than our thoughts. And if we tame that and be honest with ourselves, so why do we have this habit? Why are we kind of holding on to this habit? What is it that makes us hold on to this? And again, you have to just kind of break it down and separate your ego from your goal. And I think take baby steps and not try to accomplish it all in a couple of days. Because like you said, it takes about 15, 21 days to break that habit. So I think ego plays a large part in that. Tackle that first.
You know, I'm going to come back to you later on the show and talk about their ego, because their ego is a good word. So far, y'all, we've talked about mindsets. We've talked about egos. Terrence, take us home on this question, brother.
All right, well, to piggyback off Sean and Adina, first thing you got to do is recognize where did that bad habit begin? What triggered it? Because once you can identify what the onset or the trigger for it, you can kind of like figure out how to circumvent it. And another thing is we in like the mental health field, when we're doing treatment plans, we follow something called a SMART goal. So SMART represents specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time oriented. So kind of like what Sean said, like how it takes to develop a habit, it can take just as long or longer to change that habit. Like for example, after my 31st birthday, I decided to start, being more consistent in working out. So it's ever since then I've been more consistent with it because I realized that I had grown too comfortable, and that's where a lot of people's bad habits come from, is being routine and comfortable, because there's a feeling of safety. And even if it's unhealthy or even destructive, that common factor is that it feels comfortable, it feels expected. And a lot of times when we have these bad habits, it's hard to break because we're so used to it, because it's so routine, and it gives us a feeling of safety and security. So learning to identify what causes it or what contributes to it are one of the first steps. Like the saying goes, the first step in resolving a problem is acknowledging that there is one.
Awareness, I'm hearing. So far to our streaming audience, we've talked about mindset. We've talked about ego. We've talked about circumventing some things. And lastly, complacency. We got to stop being complacent, y'all. And Teresa Graves said, I am a great procrastinator, but I'm trying to do better. Auntie, I am too, love. I am there with you. We can always be better when we acknowledge it. Wendy said, thanks, guys. Rhonda Taylor says, bad habits are hard to break, but sometimes you have to. She's been on the road today, y'all. If y'all follow me on Facebook, she and I be going back and forth about this football game. But Miss Taylor says, bad habits are hard to break, but sometimes you have to look at the company you are keeping. Adina, I'm looking at you. And you know why I'm looking at you? Because growing up, and I'm going to share a little bit about our little history. We were like, just a little bit. Back in the day, when we was growing up in high school, we had some great people, and we also had people that we'd be like, okay, I love you, but yeah. And that comment struck to me because, as I said earlier, it's all about who we surround ourselves with. So, Adina, can you elaborate more about what does it mean when that word, the company that you keep, as it relates to habits?
Ooh, without telling on ourselves.
Right.
I believe, again, I think it still plays into ego. You form groups of people that bring you comfort and who will kind of co-sign the things you do versus checking you for the things that may not be so savory. Mm-hmm. And because they co-sign it, it allows you to continue the cycle. Again, because your ego feels better there and they're comfortable there. It's a comfortable space. So in order to move past that, to get uncomfortable and recognize like, hey, this is not conducive to the life I want, you're going to have to leave those people behind, or it's going to be for everything. Ooh. Bad habits and bad people.
Jasmine, take us in, sweetheart. I know I felt you. Come on, Jazz. Come on.
That bouncing off of Adina, that level of being comfortable with the people that you're around, like, these are my ride or dies. Like, being able to see that those bad habits are causing you turmoil and confusion and just stress. You have to look at those people too, because it's kind of like, hey, do you want me to succeed? Do you want the best for me? Are you really truly here for me, to see me be who I am? Because if you were, you would check me. You would tell me that these are bad habits. You would help me figure out ways to be better. So it's kind of like you got to, again, that ego. You got to look at yourself, but you also have to look at who you surround yourself with, because at the end of the day, they say it takes a village to raise a child. Like, right. People you hang around, they pour into you. Even though you don't know it or you do know it, they pour into you. Right. And sometimes you have to break away from those people who are pouring negative things into you when you want to be better within yourself. They don't provide you with that, hey, I'm going to help you be better. They got to go.
Right.
Gotta go.
Thank you for that. All right, Justin, there was another comment. Thank you. Shout out to y'all for commenting tonight. This is our affirmation that I said that we all needed. Rhonda Taylor said, exactly. There's a comment by Wendy that says, some of our relationships habits are dangerous too, because we stay in bad relationships because that relationship with that person is a habit. Who, as far as my fellas, who want to tackle that first? Because I want everybody to say something about this one. Sean. Okay, Sean. Then Terrence, then Justin.
Okay, let me get on this one. Oh Lord. Oh, all right. So our relationships are habits are dangerous too, because we stay in bad relationships because the relationship is with that person is that absolutely. I think it's more so the fact of two things. You either want that person to be better, or you want them to be the person that you think they can be, or you end up picking that person on purpose because they support the habit that you don't want to get rid of. Mm-hmm. So you tend to just stay in that relationship because you know it's not good, but you also don't want to lose that habit. You want to continue that. You don't want to give it up. So you sacrifice your time, your energy, and knowing that it's not good for you, but you still stick around because you're not willing to address that habit or just address the negativity in that and just say, no, listen, I actually have to change this. And if that means you have to go, you got to go. But a lot of times we don't pick ourselves first. We pick other people first. And that habit becomes them other people. So it's not a habit. That person literally is your habit. And that person, just like a habit, has to go or has to change.
Love it. Love it. All right, real quick, Terrence.
So a lot of times, like, I'll give you an example of mine. Like, looking back, one of my bad habits when it came to relationships was that I sucked at communicating. I would, like, hold a lot of stuff in, like, and out of the sake of, like, not wanting conflict or confrontation. Mm-hmm. So, like, although I've gotten significantly better at it, but that's just one of the main things, because one of the main things that a foundation of a relationship, a healthy one, is communication. Now, kind of like what Adina said earlier is about the kind of company you keep. And I think like that, all that is true, but it works both ways too, because people will only treat you how you allow them to also. So that in and of itself is a bad habit, because when you allow people to kind of disrespect you, like we've all had people that either relatives or friends that, stuck around with somebody we knew they weren't good for them. Even they knew they weren't good for them. Yet they stuck around because it was all they knew. Or you have those who might jump from relationship to relationship just for the sake of not being afraid of being alone.
Right.
Or being single or starting over. When the fact is that, we cling on to like what's comforting and what's like familiar, or just kind of finding like some pseudo sense of security.
Right. Justin, talk to us, brother.
It's more or less like, can you look at yourself in the mirror and be okay with that person that you've become with those bad habits for that other person too? And the reason I say that is because it's, the person that you're around the most is the person that that you talk to, you pretty much build with. So are you going to build bad habits with them, or are you going to build good habits with them? You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, like I said, you still have to look at yourself in the mirror and look and say, am I okay with this? What can I do to be a better person, so that way I can build better habits for myself? That way I can bring them along with, the person that I'm with. Because sometimes, like we always say, we're in a bad relationship sometimes because it's safe. We don't want to go out there and see what else is new because we don't like the fact that, you know what I'm saying? So it's just best to, look at what you have so far and say, okay, what do I need to change to make this better for me and the person I'm with?
Right. And to our listening audience, we're not just talking about relationships and, intimacy. It could be work relationships. It could be friends. It could be homies. It could just be a wide variety of relationships. And sometimes we got to learn how to realize, is this really benefiting me? And one of the things that I could definitely share with you personally, I made a decision at the first of the year to do a fast. And in this fast, I've been able to see a lot of clear things. Not that I'm changing myself, I'm perfecting myself. I'm becoming a better Thomas. So when I interact with my friends that are on this platform and outside this platform, I could be Thomas, that someone that can continue to be genuine, continuing to be authentic, and continue not to let my ego get the best of me. Because I think sometimes we allow our ego to take control because we get a little bit of clout. And it's not always about that. And we have to learn how to check ourselves so we don't foster those habits, which leads me into the next segue. We have to learn how to prepare for pitfalls, right? Because everybody's going to go through something in life, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's indifferent, but we got to learn how to prepare for those pitfalls. And as we are preparing for those pitfalls, what is something that we could do? I wore this shirt on purpose tonight. And this shirt says, it's never too late, but the time is now. Listen to this again. It is never too late, but the time is now. It's time for us as individuals, as husbands, as boyfriends, as girlfriends, as partners, as everybody that you want to label and identify yourself as being. The time is now for us to get some things in order for us and for the people that we are surrounding ourselves with. But in preparation of that, we got to get ready to understand and know that some things are going to happen, right? I can have this dynamic plan. Like I have a whole skit and a whole outline. But what happens if that doesn't work? You got to be ready to pick up the pieces. We cannot allow a temporary situation to describe and determine a long life and our longevity. So when we are preparing for pitfalls, I want to start with Jasmine. How can we prepare ourselves to understand that when we are trying to break these habits, we know things are going to come against us because sometimes people don't want us to change, right? So when we are trying to be that better person, when we are trying to break those chains and move those mountains and break those barriers, we are going to experience the pitfalls. The pitfalls, for example, can be, I don't want Jasmine to get that job. She has a job interview on Monday morning. So let me take her out on Sunday night and let's get turned up so she can go in her interview and not perform. That is a pitfall because I want to make this relevant to everybody that is watching, that we're not being deep, we're having conversations because we all have to learn how to talk things out. So, Miss Jasmine, as we are working on those pitfalls, how do we prepare ourselves?
I feel like when you really have a plan, but your plan, you never know how it's going to go. I believe that when you think of all the aspects of your vision and it just may become too much or things might be going so wrong that you want to give up, you got to think about the desired outcome twice as hard. Right. You got to push through it. You got to think about the most challenging times. You got to commit yourself. You got to commit to yourself. You commit to committing to yourself in that plan. You have to, at the end, step back because your actions, your desires, your commitment are going to be what, at the end, either get you there or you fail. Right. And I think that you have to think about where you are right now, how it makes you feel, how you want to feel, and what the positive outcomes will be once you get there. So that you'll step back and you'll be like, oh, I can't go out tonight. Like that's not an option because I know I have something tomorrow that's going to help me be better. I can't do that because I don't want to even open the door for an opportunity for there to be a pitfall. So there are some things that you're going to have to step back and just like separate yourself from in order to continue to make that commitment to yourself to be better.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. Adina.
Here for pitfalls. Well, I think one way to prepare is that you have to acknowledge that everything's not always going to go the way you want it to go in life. Right. That's just with anything. So with knowing that, you know that I have this planned out from A to Z, but Q can come in between C and B and throw me off. But what am I going to do to bounce back, to get back to C? For example, I'm in school right now, and you know, a lot of my friends have already graduated. They have their master's, their bachelor's, so they're past that. But you know, sometimes I have friends, they'll know I have assignments or quizzes, and they'll be, well, let's just do this, or well, let's just do this. I'm like, you know, I told you I had to submit this essay today. If I go, this, and I don't think it's ill intent. I just think they just want my time. But for me, I have to put myself over those moments and just understand again, there's going to be detours, but how do you work around those?
Gotcha. All right, Justin.
For me, I just look at it for what it is, and I'm like, okay, what's next? What do I need to do next to make sure that this doesn't happen again? Because if I sit there and keep thinking about it, then another pitfall is going to happen, and then I'm going to fall further and further behind on what I need to accomplish. And I mean, preparation for pitfalls. I mean, there's no manual for it. There's no directions on how to, keep from that happening. It's just all about mindset. What can I do just to make sure that I'm prepared, for the next challenge, so that way I don't have to worry about it again.
Got it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Sean.
So I would say plan, like you thoroughly plan out everything that you want to do, so that way, and you have a list. Like, so things are gonna happen, but like when you look at things that you've already done, and you can see like, okay, this happened, but I got this done and this done. All I got left is to do A, B, C, and D. So you create an accurate plan of steps that you can do. Then I will also say the people that you're around. Like, I know we keep saying that so loosely, but that is so real. Like Adina was saying earlier. If I'm with somebody and they should have more concern and more care about me to my own pitfall or something that happened, they're like, yo, like, no, you're not going out tonight, or like you're not doing this tonight, or like one of my friends, aka Jazz, will literally tell me or tell people around me, like, don't call him, he's not going out tonight, or like he's not doing this, he got ABC. Right. So you have people who literally care enough about you in that moment when you fail. It's like, okay, even if I do fail, it's like, all right, no, get back up.
Right.
And we can keep moving. Like, you cushion yourself to know and be honest with yourself to know that things are gonna happen. But that's okay. That doesn't mean it's a setback. It just means that's life. Now,
exactly.
What do you do with that?
I love it. I love it. And we're gonna spend these last moments we done already talked about the pitfalls. We talked about the naysayers. We talked about all of that. But let's get to some positive. The whole celebration piece. When we have broken those chains, broke those barriers, all of that great stuff, there is also a good side of this. And that's what we call the celebratory part, where we are able to say, hey, I got this. I made it. Thomas, you have not allowed your stutter to keep you from being on the screen, but you are pushing through that. That is my celebration. That was a habit that I broke because I stayed so in my shell, because I felt like I did not have the voice, the part to do it. But I had to affirm myself first. So let's talk about the celebrations. When we break these habits, what will it look like? Starting with Terrence.
All right, so when it comes to the celebration part, you got to learn to, I would say, reward yourself. Now, when it comes to rewarding yourself, it can vary because to either treating yourself to something, maybe not something like too superficial, like like for example, somebody who dropped X amount of pounds, like doing a regimen for like 6 months. Don't go and reward yourself with like a gallon of ice cream, but rather kind of treat yourself to like maybe like a fruit or some kind of pat on the back or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I guess also like just celebrate by giving yourself grace and actually like acknowledging like how far you've come. And that was kind of
right.
Dealing with the last question you asked is that you got to be able to give yourself grace. I mean, we're human beings, so we're going to slip up, but that's all part of the process, is learning how to say, you know what, I stumbled, but you know what, let me keep going. A lot of times people they'll stumble or they'll trip up and be like, well, that's it, I tried, but ain't nothing else to do to that. So give yourself grace and stop and realizing that you've made a milestone.
Love it.
Like a significant one, but it is progress nonetheless. Even slow progress is progress. So
gotcha.
To acknowledge that you've made those like gradual steps to whatever it is you're trying to attain or accomplish.
So guess what? I did not forget this. So finish this sentence. Out with the old, in with the. What's yours?
You talking to me? Or
yes, you.
Out with the old, in with the new practices.
Ooh, thank you. I love that. Out with the old, in with the new practices. Sometimes we got to develop new skills, new practices. Thank you so much, Terrence. All right, my next person is going to be Adina. After we break habits, how do we celebrate?
I think one of the main things we have to do when we celebrate is to acknowledge that our uh, celebration should be for us. We can't go into it looking for cosigns from other people, because if we break a habit, we did it for ourselves, for our, for our spirit, for our soul.
Mm-hmm.
So always celebrate yourself, affirm yourself, and acknowledge that, yo, I did this. I did this for myself. I accomplished it. And even if you don't have, like, the congratulations on the side, you have to be confident enough to recognize, like, I did what I said I was going to do, and I'm glad I did.
Love it. Thank you so much. So yours is out with the old, in with the
New energy.
ooh. We got practice and energy. Miss Jasmine, what's up, baby? What's up?
So y'all know I like things. So when I celebrate, I'm gonna buy something. I don't know about y'all. But I think definitely affirm yourself. Show yourself, remember where you started, how hard it was and how you made it. So that when you take that next step to see, like, oh, what's next? Like, you know that you can do it. I think
Mm,
also affirming those people who rode with you, who were
love
really
it.
people who were down for you, like, thank them.
Right.
Acknowledge that they were there. And I think also be ready to move on and see what's next. Um, Mine, out,
Yes.
out with the old, in with the intentionality. Because I think that everything needs to have a purpose and needs to have a place, and everything, especially nowadays, you got to be intentional with the things you do, the things you say, how you move, the people you're around. Everything has to be very intentional and thought out.
Yo, this panelist is tonight is on it. It's on it. All right. Justin, tell me, brother. How do you celebrate?
For me, it's real. I'm real like simple with it. I give a nod to the head and I look back on what I've done, and I'm like, okay, what do I need to do now? But but it's good to just sit there and think about how you broke that bad habit,
Right.
or, and you created something better for yourself going forward. So that's what I'm learning to do now. So for me, I just look back on what I've accomplished so far. I've looked back how far I've come to, to breaking bad habits and getting to where I am now. So I'm celebrating as much as I can, as I go on. So to answer you're out with the old, in with the new motivation to succeed.
Ooh, all right. I love it. Sean, take us home, brother.
I got you. So for me, I reward myself in 2 ways. I've gotten into plants a lot, so every time I break a habit and install a better one or a new one, I buy myself a plant, and I also look forward to setting a new goal, so a new habit that I can, work on and transform, and it becomes addicting, almost to the point where it's like I'm bettering myself, I'm becoming addicted to bettering myself. To your answer of out with the old and in with the collecting of more green flags,
Okay.
not red
Green
flags.
Green flags, love it. All right, so to our listening audience that are still with us tonight, if you want to share with us what are you bringing into this new year, something new. So I'm going to start the sentence. Please chime in. What are you bringing in? So I'm going to say this: out with the old, in with the blank. We want to hear from you. Please share with us what are you bringing in. So as we wrap up this show, wow, an hour goes by real quick. I want to first of all say to you, thank you to our lovely ladies for being on tonight. Y'all look good. Y'all look good. To my kings, y'all sharp, brotherhood, stuff like that. But I just want you guys to give us a quick closing statement. And while you were speaking, we're going to show how they can follow you. So I want to start with Miss Adina first, and she's going to close us out with her last statement, and we're going to be popping up everything at this point.
Okay, I just want to say, always be true to yourself. Always do what moves your spirit. Always do what will allow you to sleep at night and feel good about whatever it is that your heart desires.
Love it. Thank you so much, Adina, for joining us tonight. That was her Instagram. People, go follow her. She has a lot of great stuff that she posts. All right, Miss Jasmine, can you close us out?
Of course. So I'm looking above me, and my third degree cap is up there. And on the cap it says, she remembered who she was and the game changed. So remember who you are and what you deserve, and that'll change the game.
Ooh, love it. So y'all follow Miss Jasmine and Bentley. Bentley is her dog. You're going to see a lot of pictures of her and her pet on her page. Terrence, what would you like to leave the people with?
Every day, no matter what you're in, every day that you're alive is a new opportunity to improve or to become better. So treat each day like a new opportunity or a new lesson to be learned.
Love it. Love it. So this is how you all can follow Mr. Terrence and Sean.
Yes, absolutely. I would say to make a habit last, don't do it by yourself. And when you feel like you have those times where you're at the quitting point or you're at the roughest point at it, keep going. That means you're getting closer to it, to beating it. So keep going and keep pushing through it.
Wow, thank you so much. I want to real quickly read out some of the comments that our guests have stated tonight. Out with the old, in with new consciousness, new vision of love, new ambitions, new opportunities, and new determination. I have to shout. Can we just all shout out our guests for being able to chime in with us on tonight? We giving you a hand clap, a virtual hug, all of that. We appreciate you so much for sharing with us on this evening. If you want to give us feedback to let us know what you liked about the show, what you did not like about the show, please click on that survey link so you can give us feedback. If you want to be on the panel, I have no issues with anybody coming on. Let me know so I can bring you on. It has been an honor. It has been a truly pleasure serving you on tonight. This is my passion, to let you know and let you physically see that I did not allow a mountain or a barrier to break me. I am continually moving those things out of my way. And I just have to say thank you so much to my audience again. I love you all. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the text messages that I've been getting. I love and appreciate each and every one of you all. You can follow me on the following websites: on Instagram, which is Limitless Outcomes. You can check me out on the website, which is www.limitlesspossibilities4u.com. You can check us out on YouTube at Limitless Possibilities. And lastly, but not least, follow these panelists. They are phenomenal. They have great energy, and I promise you, you will see them back. Thank you again. And as I say always, if you follow me on social media, I say every morning, we woke up this morning to have a better opportunity to get things right than the day before. Each day that we wake up, make sure that you are being better than the day before. As always, catch me next time. I love you. Stay safe. And let's bring in a new year, new leadership, new opportunities, and new good habits. Until next time, see you later. And we're out. Love you.